This is a best of 13 series. First to win 7 will hold the Old Mug aloft. The breeze is light. Emirates Team New Zealand have port entry. The challengers, Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli, will come in from starboard.
So what I'm most interested in today is what is the starboard entry boat going to do to try and break this curse of the starboard entry? Is it a myth or is it real? And I think in these lighter winds, that double manoeuvre gets really tough.
We've already seen a little bit of a break in the action where Prada is actually sticking themselves well down to leeward or to the right side of Emirates Team New Zealand, kind of taking almost like a blocking move towards the jibe that is likely coming on the red boat.
Easy leading, easy leading. Up, 4 out, 2, 1, yep. No, turn up, Lenny. 24 knots on the wind here. What's coming up?
Both boats have gotten quite slow here, Nathan. Really slow and dangerously close to being off the foils.
There you see that shot there. 20 knots is about the bottom speed they can keep it on the foil. Prada with the bigger foils can hang there a little bit longer. Both boats really struggling right now, or just early and killing time.
Trimming up. I might hear a little.
We will gain time on
the gas if we can.
Luna Rossa looking very strong at the moment.
We'll gain time on the wave, okay?
Question is, are they early?
Kiwis are just trying to get up in the air right now, Nathan. I'm not so sure they're out of the water yet, and they're using that kind of that 90-degree wind angle to pop out of the water. Got them right down into bad air and in a really bad spot.
Okay, just charge here, charge the battery. Us on the line, trimming up slowly. Trimming up, go.
Yeah, we're just going to get to attacking speed. Yeah.
Time to go racing. It's race 5, the 36th America's Cup match. And Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli across the line first.
Wow.
Just a little longer then, we hold. Just a little.
The smaller foils in the lighter winds and the pre-start, and you can't get caught slow. That was leading back a little bit early on Emirates Team New Zealand, having to go slow, dropping off the foils and having the smaller foils and struggling to take off.
We all knew that one of the factors going into this was going to be the foil size and the ability of this boat to actually do down speed maneuvers in the pre-start. Would that be an advantage? Could they put themselves in a position to make it an advantage? They did, and they absolutely crushed that start.
So much for that port tack entry favour.
Wow.
A massive error by Pete. I mean, you heard the slight panic in Blair Tuke's voice, you know, saying, you know, we're really, really early for this. And he knows that they have smaller foils and yet, you know, slowed down. A huge error. But it's closing up here, Kenny. This is far from over.
The port tack entry boat, Team New Zealand, gets to choose when they come back. And Jimmy Spill and Francesco Bruni said, no, we're going to go back a little bit earlier because we know we can handle sailing slower on our bigger foils. So they happily took the lead. Both boats got really slow, and then they just climbed up out of that 17 knots, got on the foil, and great judgment by Francesco Bruni, Jimmy Spittle, and the whole crew on board. There's more than 2 people on that, but man, it was played really well on that start to those guys.
Yeah. Yeah, just keep an eye on him after the barrel away. Yeah. I'll start your turn on the mark.
Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli go around the top mark. Cool and confident. Just listen to the comms going on. They are so relaxed. And really, on the first leg, Kenny, when you take a look at this, that deficit is going to be a healthy one in favour of Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli.
They're right down to every little detail as well. You heard Francesco Bruni talk about, let's continue here on port jibe, and we actually give them dirty gas. By gas, they mean disturbed air coming off the sails as they're passing, going upwind. So no matter how far ahead you are, you're always trying to make it a bigger distance.
Turning down.
And I was quite surprised, Kenny, that they headed to the right-hand side of the track, you know, tucked right in under those spectator boats. There's like a good 1 or 2 knots different at the top of the track, and down the bottom it's much more even. And I could see that on I have the wind speeds coming off the 2 yachts. And Emirates Team New Zealand on the left-hand side of the track did have a knot or 2 more. They're also going faster.
It was 32 seconds at the previous mark. We know that it might be maybe a little bit less with the downwind speed of Emirates Team New Zealand, but doesn't matter. There's 1 boat in front and 1 boat chasing, and you know which way that is.
I had to chat with some of the Luna Rossa guys today about how come the hook never works in that pre-start scenario, and they said just that the gas, the disturbed air is so big that you never cut through it successfully. So I think it's become much more of an issue than perhaps they thought it was at the beginning of racing.
Yeah, I saw it a little more even. Yeah, I think it was more even at the top. More pressure.
I'll tell you what, the meters behind are not getting larger. They're actually just kind of hanging in around 200, maybe even a little under right now. So again, the Kiwi boat has a fast mode. We know that. It always sails more distance, but man, are they fast, both upwind and downwind.
About to complete the halfway stage in this 5th race of the America's Cup match in 2021 out of the Hauraki Golf, this Course A, in front of a magnificent spectator fleet, and it's all Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli at the moment. Remembering it is a 2-all scoreline. How much of a psychological advantage will it be again to win first race of the day? Because they seem to have a little bit of a habit of doing that. Looking at the clock on the bottom right of the screen, it appears that there's been small gains by Emirates Team New Zealand. 32 seconds at the bottom gate. They've picked up 10 seconds. So that's a good upwind gain.
Talk about protecting the left side of the course. All those blue dots is Luna Rossa. All those yellow dots are the Kiwis. Luna Rossa wanted the left-hand side of the course, and they took it almost exactly down the middle of the race course. Phenomenal. That's great. That's great. A great show by Virtual Eye there, guys. That's match racing.
We keep using this one word, but flawless still comes to mind when you think about Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli. It is, wow. I mean, and it goes right back to before the Prada Cup final. The one key area they improved on was communication and getting everything right, and they are just rolling it right now as Emirates Team New Zealand finally get to that mark rounding and start the penultimate leg of race number 5 in this America's Cup match.
This is becoming kind of... We don't need commentators today. I'll tell you what's going to happen. They're going to tack on them and protect the left side of the race course. Done. Thank you.
Almost through the both side of it here, eh?
When you talk about control, it seems to come that you look at this boat, and when they're in front, they always look in control. They're not looking over their shoulder at all.
Still 200 meters, though, in a fast boat on a run to go. This is not breathe easy weather yet, if you're an Italian fan.
Yeah, but I think it's going to be better.
I'm going to say right now that this boat is being sailed beautifully, and they are, again, in control. They have dictated terms from the get-go.
Not their best rounding, though, I have to admit.
27 seconds at the 4th mark. 23 at the final mark before they head home.
I don't know, you got to say, if you are able to close a bit of time down going upwind while sailing in someone's dirt, your boat's going fast.
We go all the way at the moment, boys, in this lefty.
Luna Rossa, they've bossed this race course, haven't they? They've gone exactly where they wanted to go. Currently just right down the middle and the maximum pressure. It's hard to see, barring a mistake or, you know, a bit of a massive error by Luna Rossa, it's hard to see how the Kiwis are going to get past.
A little pressure on now. And a little lefty again.
When you think that they are very close to snatching their 3rd win of an America's Cup match, a team that has had its confidence building and building and building, how big a deal now as you head into race number 6? It feels a bit like moving day in the Golf Masters. When you want to make a play, you make the big play. Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli will cross the line and go 3-2 up in the match. So an 18-second victory by Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli, but more importantly, they have gone to a 3-2 lead in the Cup match. Remember, they're 4 wins away. 4 wins away from lifting the old mug. How big has this race win been moving forward in this regatta? On board Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli, we go to Francesco Baruni, who will be quietly satisfied, very happy, Checo. But I got to say one thing here. Yesterday, Jimmy was asked in the press conference that winning from port was it a thing, and he said it's coincidence. You proved today you can win from starboard.
Yeah, as Jimmy teach us, it was just a coincidence. And I think we did a very good job on the start. And again, it proved to be an important part of the race. But also, I think we sailed a lot better than what we did on that second race yesterday. We did some very clean maneuvers. We sailed a lot cleaner, and the performance of the boat were up there. So I think it was the start, but also, yeah, the way we sailed the boat today.
Thanks, Francesco. Get ready for race number 6. We'll go on board Emirates Team New Zealand. Peter, do you want to talk us what happened at the pre-start?
Yeah, well, we obviously just fell off the foil above them, and thought we had a little more time to kill than we actually did, and didn't quite manage to get going again and take off. But yeah, obviously they shut down the race pretty well from there. Felt like we fought relatively hard, and got close-ish at the finish, but they didn't give us too many options.
So, light and inconsistent winds put the Kiwis under pressure. The Italians call themselves underdogs, but they're sailing like favourites. We'll be back with more America's Cup AC 75 sailing after the break. Scoreboard momentum is the key to winning the America's Cup. The Italians and Kiwis traded wins on day 1 and day 2. Can Emirates Team New Zealand bounce back and draw level? Or will Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli go 2 races up? Let's head back to the water for race 6. Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli has port entry. Emirates Team New Zealand has starboard. Once again, let the games begin, and who can win the pre-start?
Few seconds late by the Italians, and all of a sudden tight right behind, and you would think in a reasonably good position. They have to choose on Emirates Team New Zealand. Do they want to lead back or do they want to push?
On the play, he's early.
And they've decided to push.
Going now. Milking.
Power up, ragazzi. Yeah, we'll be good here. Watch the boundary.
Spanner.
Thanks for doing. He's rounding up now on 2 boards. You'll see him there. We're late by the pin. Happy to come out relatively fast and forward. Good answer there. That's right on pin time too. Good call if you want to hang high a little higher.
We're going to go through the gas now.
Yes.
Too early for the pin, guys. It's still early here. Yep. Pick up here.
Nice.
So he didn't lead back. He decided to stay up high and keep it on the foils, and he's looking safe. He's not going to get shut out there. It's a question of can they pull the trigger and come rocketing off this line. Luna Rossa look like they are really struggling down there to me at the moment.
He's struggling to get going there. Okay, a little bit transition Pete.
Coming in with heat right now. Looks like they're going to try to just roll right over the top. Luna Rossa looks late.
Very late, I think, yeah.
Winding up.
Wow.
Trimming up here. Stand by for the start.
Nice, mate.
The start of race number 6 in the match, and just when Emirates Team New Zealand needed to execute a good start, they've done the job. They need the win to stay in the match. Here we go. It's time to bring the heat.
Two things happened there. Pete Burling nailed it, and Jimmy Spittle got it completely wrong. I wonder, Shirley, if it went soft in the starting box or if the wind shifted left, because that was very, very strange to see Luna Rossa so late after they got to choose when to go back.
Nathan, well, Freddie spotted it from the helicopter. It's really, really patchy now. It's down to sort of 6, 7 knots at the bottom of the course. Just really bad timing from the Italian outfit. They came round and just sat in a real light spot and never got going.
2, 1. Be soft out of this, obviously.
Power up, yeah.
Freddie, you're up in the chopper. You would have had a great bird's eye view of that. Do you think part of that would have been the fact that they jibed and sailed through the gas of the boats?
Yeah,
Yeah, there was a bit of that. Nate, the standout thing for me in that pre-start is when Luna Rossa turned down in the box their mainsail, right above their mainsail, and it was twisted the wrong way. They basically weren't powered up as they were going into the bottom of the box, and you could just see the speed unwinding on the boat. You could hear the mainsail trimmer saying, power up, power up, power up. He talked about the runner, and it just unwound from that point. They never got back on their feet.
It'll land at 55 here.
We're quite late in the day, Kenny, and you know, this is Nathan's backyard. This is where he plays most days when he's at home, and this time of day, you know, it just starts to get really unstable, very patchy. You know, the lower wind speed is getting lower all the time, although we're still up, top speed still at 9 knots, so just up and down, more unstable than we've seen before.
Emirates Team New Zealand in a race they need to win to stay comfortably in this America's Cup match have executed a strong start, and on the first leg they will head into the top gate with a sizable advantage. Make no bones about that, it's a sizable advantage on Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli. They will lead around that top gate.
If I need to keep an eye on him. Yeah, he just tacked there now, but I think we'll be able to.
You do have to ask the question, Kenny, when you think you need to put the hammer down, as Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli could have, they've dropped the ball.
Yeah, but I go back to what Freddie told us with that really great observation from the helicopter, and how the mainsail did not pop. There could have been some sort of power plant problem there, and we'll have to find out.
Pretty steady, same.
It's interesting to me that the Kiwis have been a little rough around the edges with their sailing. And boy, if I were the Italians, I'd be thinking we're missing an opportunity to try to really end this early before these guys get sharper, don't you think?
Yeah, I think you're spot on. I mean, I wouldn't go as far and say the Kiwis are rusty, but you can tell they have not raced all summer like the Italians have, and just the nuances of it, you know, just the positioning and the timing, you know, it's split seconds, and you know, that's every race that goes by. Glenn said it this morning, you know, every race that goes by, they're just getting better and better and sharper. So I think you're absolutely right. Missed opportunity.
Emirates Team New Zealand have responded as they go down that bottom gate for the first time.
About 20 seconds. Up a couple feet. Yeah, just trying to get through this line.
Shirley Robinson out on chase one. Shirley, if you're Luna Rossa, what are your options right now?
Well, keep going, hope for the best. I mean, we've been watching the Kiwis a lot, Stephen. When they were off on their own, they look so slick. They're sailing like a small foiling boat, like a moth, you know, heeled on top of them, bow down. They just really look like they just get going and get rumbling once they get free of the competition. It's so impressive.
5 away from them, Pete. 3, 2, 1, and away. Oh, we should left.
A minute and 7 seconds was the last advantage.
Yeah, this is about to turn into a really big lead here.
Up on here, 5, -3 on hill. Definitely better pressure on that.
Closing on 820 metres between the two as we're about to complete leg number 4 in this 6th race of the 36th America's Cup, and it is Emirates Team New Zealand. You can imagine the noise being made on those spectator boats that are sitting outside a cracking virtual ice stadium. And Emirates Team New Zealand complete the 4th leg and will head up for the second to last time. Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli about to complete the 4th leg. And the gap has lengthened somewhat on the downward leg in favour of Emirates Team New Zealand. The gap now 1 minute and 13 seconds. Let's go up to Heli 1 because Freddie, the last time we spoke to you, you said there were big patches of nothingness. What are you seeing now?
It was coming a little bit earlier.
Yeah, those patches of nothingness are still there, and it's still the top right-hand side of the course that poses that risk to the boats where Emirates Team New Zealand have just tacked. I've just slipped into spying mode a bit up here, which is great for me, and I was watching both boats tack, and I just saw the two aft grinders on board Emirates Team New Zealand spin round, and it looks like they're flying the boat to me. I think that's Andy Maloney and Josh Jr. And as a grinder, to think that you go around the leeward mark, your max heart rate, trimming everything on, they say standby tack, and you have to completely decompress and then fly that boat in the turn. That was pretty awesome to see from up here.
As they head into the top gate for the final time and look towards that homeward leg. Emirates Team New Zealand trailing by a race win. And on the current scale of what we're watching, they should level this race up. Around the top mark they go.
That was a day of two halves, wasn't it? That easy, that second race.
Emirates Team New Zealand come across the line, and we're still locked up in this match. It is now 3-all between Emirates Team New Zealand and Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli.
100 metres straight in front of us. Yeah. Nice work, fellas. Good comeback. Go on, boys.
So where does it stand now, the match in the 36th America's Cup? No different than it was 24 hours ago. We're locked up. It's just one more race win apiece. 3-all. You need 7 to lift the old mug.